Hello everybody. Right, today we are looking at this, the C3 Pro, and this is a flip lid, and Bikerheadz asked me for complete and utter honesty when I check out this kit for them. So, you sure? Alright then, here we go. I don't like flip lids. Now, you might call it like one of these old wives' tales where people say a certain manufacturer's bike isn't reliable because that's how they used to be back in the day, or in the 90s or early noughties or whatever, which these days really couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, if I were to tell you which manufacturer has the worst reliability record by a mile, you wouldn't believe me, so I'm not going to tell you. But it's true, you would be shocked. But anyway, on to this. This is the Pro version of the 3, and I've got to say, so far, their claims of it being quiet are spot on. They claim 82 decibels at about 100 kilometers an hour, so about 60 miles an hour. We're doing 50 at the moment, and in fact, I'm sounding really loud. So I guess that's job done there. The other thing is this comes fully equipped with antennas for Schuberth's communication system. So you could pretty much slip everything in, and it's essentially like a booster, to help pick up signals from other similarly equipped riders. And no, I don't know if the Schuberth system can talk to anybody else, i.e. other different manufacturers, but I'm sure you can find that out somewhere. Let's just nip to the front here, shall we? Yes, indeed. Now, this weighs about 1,500 grams, all in. Oh, there's me stalling my bike by not thinking, because I'm trying to talk rather than ride, which is weird, and that's steaming up. Now, ordinarily you would think, why does he lift his flip thing up? And I will get to that, and there's a kind of a problem with the microphone. I keep catching the microphone. But it's one weird thing about flip lids, right? I can go in planes and helmets of all different kinds and underwater and whatnot, and I'm not claustrophobic. However, well, let's get a little Z accelerate now. Too much traffic. However, if the visor's closed on the flip lid, I bring it down, it instantly makes me feel a little bit claustrophobic. So it's just a personal thing. But going back to what I was saying, I think actually part of my problem with flip lids is from going back a long time ago, where it was these kind of joints, the here and here, where it connects, that I didn't trust. And I didn't trust them because of some things I'd seen. But this is, when I actually think about it, this is so long ago now that, it's just ludicrous to keep thinking that. So it's basically, again, I'm no better than the people who, say one bike's unreliable when it bloody isn't. So yeah, so I'm willing to give this a good go. One thing I will say is it's comfortable. I had to fit for this camera here, I had no choice but to fit the speakers as well as the microphone. I wanted to just do microphone, but I couldn't do that, so I had to put the speakers in as well. And it's got these little kind of cubby pocket areas that keep it nice and comfy still. I can't, my point being is that I can't feel them. It's not a Schuberth system, but I can't actually feel them. I can only imagine a Schuberth system designed for a Schuberth helmet will actually go really well. But it still feels, for a 1,500 gram helmet, it still feels nice and light. And yeah, I think so far I'm okay. It's funny, I have to put this on with the front flipped up, because trying to put it on, I have a small head and a funny shaped head, and sometimes helmets that are really hard to get on for me, but once they're on, they're perfect. I don't know if anyone else is like that. Where are we going to? Oh, Humpback Bridge, don't do it. I'll just stay in 4th gear. Resist temptation over the Humpback Bridge. Don't do it, that's right. Whee! We're going past Farley now. There's motocross track up there that does like British and world motocross and stuff, so there's a nice little aside for you. Yeah, so back to the Schuberth. It's actually been, it's got, over the other three, it's got a slightly different aerodynamic twist, it's got a different lining inside, it's got redesigned cheek pads. And the other thing I can tell you is I fitted this camera to, because this camera uses a clamp system, I fitted this camera to a couple of other helmets, manufacturer helmets, and it was quite easy. On this, not easy. But the reason it wasn't easy is quite simple. It's too well built. When you have to get something between the EPS liner and the shell, on other helmets it is a little bit easier, but on this thing it's really hard. Furthermore, it has to go on this side, and on this side we have the sun visor control, and also right where you want to stick the clamp is the lead for the sun visor thing that pulls it up. Anyway, we managed to sort it out, but it was a little trickier, and not because the camera system ain't good. It's just, this is just too well built. And while I'm on the subject, oh, this might get a bit noisier because I've just done that. I'll try and slow down, but I just wanted to do, where the hell is it? This. Now then. Right, seen it? So I've put the sun visor down, now it is going back up. Okie dokie. Right, sun visor. I have to be honest with you, when I was 13, it was this would have been the coolest thing ever. And I remember looking around trying to find helmets that did something, that had something like this, which they didn't really have back then, but you're talking late 80s, early 90s there. And but since they started coming in, I think part of the problem is, oh, thank you, sir, very decent of you, very kind. I think since they started coming in, have to quickly show off for the Scooty kids. Since they started coming in, it's just I totally get, they're so practical. Why, you don't have to carry a black visor with you. Bam, it's down, it's there. I think maybe because it's so practical is why this makes me kind of go a little bit. Does that make any sense? I don't know, but that's kind of where I'm at with them. I understand they're handy. I understand they're good. I mean, the ones in here as well have been. It's not just something in the shape. They've been optically fiddled with to make sure, it doesn't muck about with your eyesight when you've got them dropping down, because then you're going essentially through two visors. So it's very cleverly done. Oh, Hosses. Engine off. Because I'm a nice biker. Howdy. That was literally a whole family. Anyway. And back down to first. Woohoo! Yay! Yay! So much fun. Okie dokie. And back down to slowing down because we're in town. Or a 20 miles an hour zone. Oop, slower. Slower. It's quite bumpy around here, but I tell you what, this Kawasaki ZH2 SE, the electronic suspension, it eats bumps, it laughs at them and spits them out for breakfast. What a thing this is, by the way. Last time I did one of these on the dyno, it was 178 horsepower at the wheel, but the most amazing thing about it is the torque. It's like 130 to 140 newton meters from nothing all the way along. Boom. Look, see, sleeping policeman, barely felt it. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, this thing. So yeah, it doesn't feel to me like there's any kind of split. I'm not feeling like when I used to wear flip lids 20 years ago, I just knew, I could tell just by wearing it that something was going on. It just did not make me feel comfortable. But this, actually, now it's down. Yeah, and I suppose you always have the option, if I slow right down so the wind doesn't muck around the microphone, you always have the option of, hang on, where is it? No.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah. Wearing a piss pod ain't for me, I'm afraid, so I'm just gonna go back to what I was doing.
Much better. There we go. Yeah, I'm not one for piss pot wearing. Listen, I hit enough ugly branches on the way down the tree right at the start. I don't need don't need any more help. So yeah, so really, out of all the stuff that TranAm have asked me to check out, actually this is the biggie for me, because I don't like them. I don't like flip lids. But all I can say is, once the front's down, this is good. This is a nice place to be. It's a really decent sized aperture for vision. I'm not getting a huge amount. I've got a little bit of the helmet at the top and a little bit at the bottom. That's pretty good. I think there might be better out there, but I'll tell you what, there is certainly a hell of a lot worse. So vision wise, absolutely excellent. Noise wise, pretty damn good, to be fair. And furthermore to that, it does seem to slip through the air quite nicely as well. I'm not really getting much buffeting. And it's a funny thing, the noise thing, because you can only really, I mean, I've wanted for years to test loads of helmets for noise, but there are so many different variables. I mean, just so many different variables, that how do you even do that? You know, as in, and the variables aren't necessarily, you know, the external factors like wind or blah, 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 or whatever. The variables are mostly the people. How tall, how high, how do they ride really fast, do they ride really slow? It's just too many variables. So you kind of have to take manufacturers on their word, but the one thing that Schuberth is very good at is letting everyone know how much research they've put into something. So at some point I will try and dig out some of their research, or ask Bikerheadz very nicely if they can dig out some of the research, and yeah, for one of these further videos. But in my line of work, if anyone said I need a quiet helmet above all else, we would all, to a man or a woman or whatever these days, say Schuberth. Straight away, instantly, Schuberth, go Schuberth, that's the one. So, and I'm getting it. I'm getting it with this, even though if there's anything, there might be an ever so slightly, sometimes when the wind turns a bit, just a tiny bit of noise kind of here, but not much. But anyway, I have to overtake this car because he's boring me. 1 second. Super chat. No, damn it, traffic. God damn it. Anyway, so yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to wear this for a good while, and I'm going to try and memorise some of the actual specs of this thing, so I'm not just talking bollocks. Or maybe Bikerheadz can stick some stuff down here, some basics be good, like sizing and that lot, because I've got on the bike and I'm so busy riding the bike and enjoying talking to you, I have forgotten already. So there we go. So apart from that, that just leaves me time to say, check in next time to see how I'm getting on with the Schuberth. And the big question is, will I be able to make this overtake? Will I? Won't I? Will I? Won't I? Oh yeah, the other thing, I'm not wearing earplugs, so I don't wear earplugs. Sorry, just before I go, almost forgot to say that. I never wear earplugs. Don't question me about it. Why? I just don't. Which is why I always like to go for quiet helmets. And this is absolutely magic. So I'm loving it. I'm not loving following this fellow, though, because the sun's out. I'm on a super fast bike. I'd quite like to have a good time, thank you. So, will you let me past? No traffic, please, no traffic. Ah, bus. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.